If the last Conor press conference was the darkest one you've ever been to, how do you rank
Yeah,
that?
yeah, this was the happiest. Yeah, that was good. It's for, I mean, a couple people said it today, and you can tell that Conor's in a much better place. And I felt like at that press conference you're talking about, he was obviously in a real bad place, and that was like the beginning of all the trouble. So it's good to see him happy, and we get all kinds of press conferences, where people hate each other and there's bad blood to, when guys respect each other. It's not going to take away from how good the fight's going to be.
Has the Cowboy Conor fight, has that been on your professional bucket list for a little while to get this fight done?
No, it hasn't been on my bucket list. I mean, these two started talking at that one seasonal press conference that we did where he called that division a stick in the mud, and Cowboy, went back and forth with him. I think those two were destined to fight since that day.
How important is Conor? Someone in the audience talked about how McGregor, his presence and his reach kind of filters down a bit. How important is it to have a global star like him to bring in new fans and casual fans, and new fans will be watching this, no doubt?
Listen, Conor McGregor, when we talk about, like, everybody will say to me, he's the biggest guy in the sport. He's one of the biggest superstars in combat sports history. I mean, you put McGregor with Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Evander Holyfield. I mean, he's in that list of guys. He's got some of the biggest pay-per-views ever, and he has the biggest pay-per-view ever in the history of pay-per-view. So he's a mega star, and to have him is big.
How do you feel about the fact that Masvidal and Guzman are there? MMA is a weird sport in the sense that the fight between Masvidal as opposed to the champion could make more money and bring more eyeballs. So do you see it like that? Do you prefer that fight?
I think that the Masvidal-Usman fight is a big fight. It's a big pay-per-view, it's a big fight, and it's a fight that people want to see.
Do you think Masvidal should be next in line for that title, based on his incredible year?
Do I think that what?
Masvidal should be next in line for it?
Definitely.
Okay.
Do you think he shouldn't?
No, I was just curious what your thoughts were, because I know that Leon Edwards and Woodley have kind of been aligned lately.
Yeah. No. Listen, the Woodley-Edwards fight needs to happen too. But the guy that's in line right now for that title shot is Masvidal.
Are there any hurdles right now with Woodley and Edwards, or is that good to go?
No, should be good.
And
not that Woodley's ever easy to deal with, He's very, very hard to deal with always, but yeah, I think we can get that done.
And with Israel and Romero, is that just a waiting game also? Or might be an announcement in the coming days?
Yeah, the problem with that is, I don't know if you've seen on social media lately, but Costa is training training hard and looks like he's ready to go and feels like he's ready to go. And that is the fight to make, but I want to hear it from a doctor. I want the doctor that did his surgery to tell me that he's clear.
What's the rush for him? I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to take the time?
Yes. But these are things that we deal with on a daily basis. Things that make sense aren't necessarily what happens around here.
I don't know if anybody pointed out the Australia shirt. So what kind of initiative does the UFC have going in terms of raising money for performers?
Yeah, Australia is going through some serious problems right now. We have donated $250,000 to the Red Cross, and we made these shirts, and the sales of these shirts, 100% of the proceeds go to that too. As of this morning, we had sold over 1,000 shirts, so it's awesome.
When they go on sale?
This morning.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
we sold over 1,000 shirts this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the number is right now, but we were at 1,000 this morning.
There was a credential media member that tried to ask a question and got basically booed out of the building, and his microphone was taken away. Do you think that's a bad look for the fans?
The microphone
here?
was taken? No, the microphone wasn't
No?
taken
Okay,
away from him.
I don't know.
Oh my God, you are so
He
drama.
didn't get to ask a second question. I don't know.
Did you see anybody try? He didn't ask a question because he got fucking. Probably never happened to him before he got booed
I
out of the
apologize,
place.
then. I'm not trying to make
He
stuff up.
literally sat down and handed his microphone
Okay.
off to the
And
next
she doesn't
guy.
want to
I
have
saw
the
it.
She had the
I'm not
Okay, I'm not trying to fabricate
getting
anything.
sucked into his bullshit.
I just wasn't sure why I didn't ask a second question.
Yeah.
I apologize.
He didn't ask a second question because he got fucking booed out of the place.
Do you think that's warranted? That people should be booing the credential?
I
He's
think
trying
that
to do his job.
I think that when you get up and ask a question like that, you should probably expect that. The place is packed with Conor McGregor fans, and but if you start getting booed like that, stand up there, take your fucking lumps, and ask your next question. If you had another question, But he probably didn't have another question. He's going in for the kill. That question was asked yesterday, right? We're here to talk about the fight. And if you really want to ask that question and you want to get into that, set up an interview with Conor one-on-one and ask him whatever you want.
I would typically agree. Morgan covers boxing more. He's a big journalist in Canada, so I know that he's not always on top of what's going on in MMA. So maybe he didn't know that the question had been asked. But I don't know.
If you didn't know that question was asked and you didn't do your homework before you came out here today, come on.
All right, that's fair. I wanted to get your take on it.
You're drama. I know you are.
But you said that you guys sold $10 million in gate already, like from the 3 minutes. The tickets were sold in 3 minutes, right, for this event for the UFC for McGregor against Cowboy. How many Irish fans are coming?
Well, that I don't know. But we've actually been opening up kills. We've been opening up production kills and putting more tickets on sale the last couple of weeks, and this thing's going to be a complete sellout.
Will there be tickets available at the box office on day of if people still want to?
That I don't know. I mean, we had opened up some kills. I don't know where we are now and how many tickets are left. But the last time we opened up tickets which was a couple days ago. We had opened up and there was 400 tickets for sale.
So you had mentioned the gate was 10 million before. Is that number climbing?
10.6.
10.6.
This thing's going to come in at 10.6 million.
Two of the guys we mentioned before, Masvidal and Izzy, they did such a good job in Conor's absence of kind of stepping up. The debate between those two as who should be Fighter of the Year was really interesting. In terms of charisma, delivering in the octagon as well, they stepped up. So does Conor have any work to do now about being top boy in this organization in terms of 2020, do you think? Is that an interesting competition, do you think?
Listen, Conor McGregor's tough to beat. You know what I mean? This guy's been, like I just said 2 minutes ago, he's one of the biggest superstars ever in the history of combat sports. He's up there with Tyson and Holyfield and all these guys. That's a tough one to rival. All these other fighters have done great things. I mean, if you look at what Weili Zhang has accomplished, Israel Adesanya has accomplished, Guzman. We were actually literally standing right here in this room the night after he said, he had said 20%, I smashed him. And was like, are you kidding me? That's what this guy says in his interview. Then he came in here, and I think he beat Rafael dos Anjos, was here. And I had said, this fight tonight means something. Tonight he showed us who he really is after he said that stupid, I gave 20% tonight or whatever the hell he said. I don't remember what the exact quote was. But and look at what he's accomplished since then. So I think there's different levels of guys, accomplishing great things and doing great things, but to compare guys to Conor is a tough one.
He thinks he believes he will have about $80 million with this fight. Do you believe him?
Do I believe him? Listen, when you look at a guy like Conor and you look at all the things that he has going on, what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of these ancillary things that fighters have depends on them fighting. The reason everybody's behind them and everybody's investing and everybody's sponsoring and whatever it might be is all because of the fights, right? And who knows what Conor really has out there right now for this fight. But I can tell you this, Conor's making a lot of money for this fight.
To make $80 million though, like you said, that the fight needs to be very, very well.
Let me tell you what, when Khabib fought Conor and beat Conor, right? The millions and millions of dollars that he made off of that win. Khabib is very rich too and doesn't need to ever fight again, based off that fight with Conor McGregor. And I don't know if any of that stuff is public, so I don't want to say it publicly what he made, but these guys make crazy money. Crazy money.
So it's possible that he makes $80 million.
He's making a lot for the fight itself, a lot of money for the fight.
Will Proper 12 be on the canvas again?
Will.
Okay, so every time he fights, that's, I guess, part of the deal.
I don't know if it's part of the deal every time he fights, but yeah, they come in and cut deals with us on that. Yeah.
I don't know if smooth sailing is such a thing you've ever had in your job, but given how committed Conor's been, he's turned up on time, he looks good, he's got his 2020 planned out. Are you relaxing a bit? Are you think it's going to be a good, positive year and no drama?
Listen, I don't ever sweat that kind of stuff. If Conor McGregor, I told you guys he might never fight again after the Floyd fight, right? This sport and this business is different than anything else. I only want guys to fight here if they are like he was today. Conor looks great. He sounds great. He seems like he's in good spirits. And normally, when everything in your personal life is great, everything else just sort of falls in place. When your personal life isn't on, nothing's right in your life. You know what I mean? So for me, first and foremost, to see the kid happy and glad to be here again and how he was today, that's what I care about first. I don't ever, and I've had this conversation with many of you a million times. When's Chuck Liddell going to retire? What are you going to do? When George St. Pierre, when Anderson Silva, Ronda Rousey, the list goes on and on. I want people that are healthy, happy, and in a really good place personally to fight. I don't ever worry about this business is going to continue to go like this. I told you guys all that before too a million times. Obviously, it's awesome to have Conor back. He's fun. He's exciting. He's energetic. When you show up to a Conor McGregor fight, it feels different than any other fight that happens. But I'm just happy that he's happy and in a good place personally.
Do you feel like today benefits Cowboy, given that in the past when Conor shows up at these press conferences late and says all kinds of wacky stuff, that it can get in the head of an opponent, but this was basically like cruise control for Cowboy. Didn't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, I mean, Conor has literally been on time for everything that he's done for this event. He's been a pleasure to work with the staff and everybody else. It's been awesome.
Anything else?
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dana.
Good.
Cheers.
All right,
appreciate
guys.
it. Thanks.